the reason why this is sort of every guy's favorite movie. It's in their top 5. I'm not alone in that. I know this isn't for you, but this is a lot of people's favorite movie. And whether or not you love it as Nolan's best movie, some people like The Dark Knight, some people like Inception, this is the one that has the most heart. And people talk about Interstellar. And if you ever watch TikTok, women will complain a lot about, like, if a guy's favorite movie is Interstellar, walk away. I could not disagree with that more. And I think that loving Interstellar says a certain thing about a guy. But what I love about this movie is that it is what I call a non-traditional love story. I don't know if that's a phrase that I coined. I don't think it is. I think it's pretty common, but I've never heard it used by anybody else before. But it's a non-traditional love story. Every movie, every single movie is in one way or another about love, because every movie is about some sort of connection. And to be a non-traditional love story is to be a non-romantic love story. This is a great example. One of my other favorite movies, Man on Fire. It's a love story between Denzel Washington and Dakota Fanning. And he comes back from the dead, essentially, because of his love for this girl. They kidnap her, and he burns the world to the ground to get her back. It's fantastic.
Non-romantic love.
Non-romantic love, and that is a non-traditional love story. Superbad is a great example of a non-traditional love story. Yes, they have love interests, but it's not about their love. It's about the two friends and realizing that their time in high school is done and they have to move on from each other. It's a beautiful love story between two guys. And so this is an incredible non-traditional love story. When this was originally being developed, Spielberg was originally attached. And when Spielberg was attached, this was a love story between Brandt and Cooper. So it was a love story between Matthew McConaughey and Anne Hathaway. And I don't think it would have worked as well if it had been a traditional love story. It needed to be about the father and the daughter. Thematically, it was much more interesting to do this transcendental love story between a father and a daughter than it was to be between Hathaway and McConaughey. Nolan was sort of processing the love that he had for his newborn daughter, and that's where this came from. And I don't think that you saw Nolan really make a movie this powerful about a father-daughter relationship or a father-son relationship until he had gone through it himself. And he realized, like, man, this is a much more powerful love than just two astronauts falling in love. And so I just think that the important sort of screenwriting lesson here is to realize that, like, romantic love can be interesting, but it's not the most interesting. And most of the time, I would say that non-traditional love stories are far more interesting movies than just romantic love stories. And it's the reason why I love Interstellar. It speaks to who I would be as a father. It asks some very difficult questions about fatherhood. And in the end, I know you didn't love the Tesseract, Josh, but when he's like, program it into the watch, and it's like, how do you know she's going to come back for it?
Translate the data into Morse and feed it to me.
Translating data to Morse. Cooper, what if she ever came back for it?
She will.
How do you know?
Because I gave it to her.
And it's just like, oh man, I just lose my shit at that moment. I just cry and cry and cry. I love this movie, and I love a non-traditional love story. Those are by far my favorite. Wreck-It Ralph is one of my favorite Disney movies. There's no romantic relationship between Ralph and Vanellope von Schweetz. You know, it's a mentor sort of mentee. They become great friends, you know, and in the end, he sacrifices himself for her and chants the bad guy's mantra as he's falling to his death. Again, I lose my shit every time. This is a great way to just prop up and emphasize the importance of the non-traditional love story.
I want you to hit me as hard as you can.